Hello students, how are you? Hope you all are healthy and safe at your home. I am Shweta Jain representing Shiv Jyoti Educational Group Kota. So children, today we will study science chapter number 10, force and machines. It's on page number 87. So all of you open page number 87 of your book. So children, we perform various activities in our daily life like opening a door, closing a door, like hitting a ball with a bat, kicking a football. So what all these things involve, what all these activities involves? All these activities involves a push or a pull. So children, here a push or pull applied on an object is defined as force, and in this chapter we will study about force and different types of machines which we use in our daily life. So let us come to your book, children. Force, a push or pull applied on an object is called force, as I have told you right now. A boy pulling a toy car, a boy pushing the pedals of a bicycle, a lady drawing water from a well are all the examples of force which is applied on an object. So let us have a look at this. See children, this is a chair and right now I am pushing it like this. So what is it here? It is the force which I am applying on this chair to push it. Similarly, when I want to take it on my side, I am pulling it like this. So what is here? This is pull. So this is also a force. So any push or pull which is applied on an object is called as force, and we will study different types of forces in this chapter. Before that, we will study the different effects of a force. So see children, this is a toy car. Now right now it is a stationary. Stationary means it is standing at one position, it is still at one position. Now when I apply the force to it, then it will start moving. See how it happens? It is like this. Now, so what happened over here? I have applied the force and this stationary object starts moving. So this is one of the effect of force. Then that force can move a stationary object. Now secondly, if I apply force to this moving car, then it will stop moving. Let us see how it happens. See children, it is a moving car, but now I have applied force like this and this car has stopped now and it has become stationary. So this shows that force can stop a moving object. So these are the two effects of force. Now we will discuss some more. So children, let us come back again to this toy car. Now here the third effect of force is force can slow down the speed of a fast moving object. Again it is like this, when it is moving very fastly and I apply some force on it, then it starts moving slowly. So it can slow down the speed of a fast moving object. Similarly, if it is moving slowly and I apply some more force on it, then it can start moving faster. It will be like this. So see children, this is another effect of force. Now one more effect of force is it can change the direction of a moving object. Like if it is moving in this direction and I apply force from here, then the direction of this moving object can be changed. So these are some of the effects of force. Now one more example here is a clay dough. Force can change the shape of an object. Now you might have seen your mothers preparing chapatis at your home. So what she used to do, first she used to make a ball of dough, then she roll it with the help of rolling pin and gives it some another shape. Okay, it gives it the shape of a chapati. So this is also one of the example of force, where force can change the shape of an object. So children, these are the different effects of forces. You can see in your book also. So children, effects of force are, force can move a stationary object. Right now I have shown you a force can stop a moving object. Force can also make a moving object move faster when applied in the direction in which the object is moving. A force can slow down a moving object when applied in the opposite direction to which the object is moving. All this I have shown you just now through the demonstration. A force can change the direction of a moving object. A force can change the shape of an object. So, one more example you can see over here, a potter making pot with clay. He also uses the force to give the shape to the clay, and he makes different pots of different shapes and sizes. So, children, these all are the different effects of force. Now, we come to our next topic. It is the types of forces. So, children, there are many types of forces. Now, let us read about some of them. So, first type of force is gravitational force or gravity. The force that attracts objects to the center of the earth is called gravitational force or gravity. Gravity is a force that makes things fall to the ground. When an apple falls from a tree, it falls towards the ground. When you throw a ball in the sky, it also falls to the ground after going up to some height. Now see children, I have this ball. So now when I throw this ball from a height, it will always go down like this. Okay. Now if I throw it upward, again it will come back towards the earth only. So what is this and why this is happening? So children, there is a force called force of gravity or gravitational force which is there on the earth. This force tends to move the objects towards the center of the earth. That's why every object falls down, whether either we throw them up, still they come down. Okay children, so why this is so? This is due to the force of gravity. Now we come to the another type of force, that is another type of force is the force of magnetism or magnetic force. Now the force by which a magnet pushes or pulls iron objects or another magnet is called magnetic force. Now let me show you how this magnetic force works. See children, this is a magnet. We call this substance as magnet. Now it has the property of attracting another magnet or the iron objects. Now let us see how. Now see, it is an iron nail. Now I am putting this iron nail on my hand. I am bringing this magnet near to it. Now you can see here, this magnet has attracted this iron nail. So this force by which it is attracting the iron nail is called as magnetism or magnetic force. Similarly, it also attracts the another magnet. You can see here, this is one magnet and this is another magnet. When I bring both these magnets together, you can see they are attracted with each other, they stick to each other. So this force is called as magnetic force. So children, now let us move to another type of force. So children, another type of force here is muscular force. When we push or pull something, we are applying muscular force. Muscular force is applied in opening a door, kicking a football, plucking fruits from a tree, etc. Now let us see one more demonstration over here. So children, see, this is a chair. Now when I am pushing it, I am using the force of my muscles, because here I am pushing it with the help of my hands, and when I am pulling it, again I am using the force of my muscles. So again this force is called as muscular force, because the force which is applied over here was the force which I applied with my hand. So it was a muscular force. Now let us move to another type of force. So this is electrostatic force. Now children, tear a paper into tiny pieces, run a comb through dry hair. Now bring the comb closer to the tiny bits of paper. The bits of paper stick to the comb. This happens because of the electrostatic force. Some materials, when rubbed with other materials, get charged. These charged materials either attract or repel other objects. Here the comb gets charged due to running through dry hair and attracts tiny bits of paper. So children, what is electrostatic force here? Electrostatic force is the force which is due to the presence of charged particles. Now substances or things, they have charged particles inside them. When we rub them, what happens at that time? When we rub something, these charged particles, they come to the surface. Now let me show you the demonstration how these charged particles are attracted towards each other. So let us see the demonstration now. So children, see, these are the bits of paper. Now I have this scale which is of plastic. Now I rub this scale with my dry hairs over here and bring this scale near to the bits of paper. Now let's see what happens over here. See children, these bits of paper, these are attracted by this scale, this plastic scale. Now why this attraction is here? This attraction is here due to the presence of electrostatic force, and this electrostatic force is due to the charged particles which are present in the paper as well as in the ruler, and when we rub this ruler, it gets charged and these particles, they attract the other particles towards them. Now let us come to another type of force. Here the next type of force is friction or frictional force. It is the force that acts between two objects when they are in contact with each other is called friction. Friction stops or slows down the movement of objects across a surface. For example, when you stop pedaling your bicycle, it gradually slows down and stops. The smooth surfaces provide less friction than rough surfaces. Now this type of force which we call friction, it is the force that opposes the motion of a body, and the slippery or the smooth surfaces have less friction, rough surfaces have more friction. So let us see some of the advantages of friction. These are the friction between our feet and the ground makes possible for us to walk. We cannot walk easily on slippery ice, wet floor or very smooth floor because there is less friction. So children, we are able to walk on the floor just because of the friction. Now you might have seen that there are grooves in the shoes. Whenever you see any type of footwear, now in the sole of that footwear, in the below part of that footwear, there are grooves which do not make it soft and slippery. So when we walk on the road, then we do not slip and we can walk easily. So these grooves, they provide the friction force over here and help us in walking smoothly on any type of surface. Then there is the friction between the road and the tires of vehicles make them move on the road. Again, children, you might have seen the vehicles, they also have the grooves in them, their tires have grooves in them. So these grooves, they help them to move swiftly on the road because these grooves provide friction to these tires so that they do not slip over the floor. Okay. So another advantages of frictions are friction between the paper and pen help us to write on the paper. Friction help us to hold pen or pencil in our hands. We could not hold a pen or pencil in our hand without friction. An eraser uses friction to rub off pencil marks. So these are some more applications of friction. Children, whenever we need to hold a pen or a pencil, now you can see the grip is made by our fingers. So how this grip is made? Due to the force of friction which is present in between the surface of this pen and the surface of our hands. Similarly, by the help of frictional force only, we are able to write on the board, we are able to write on the paper. Children, there are some disadvantages of frictional force. Let us see what are these disadvantages. Friction can wear out soles of shoes, tires of vehicles, pencil eraser, machine parts, etc. To avoid machine parts from getting damaged due to friction, they are lubricated or oiled. Lubricants reduce friction. Now here, just now we have said that friction makes the movement easy on any type of floor which is not slippery, but here some disadvantages are also there. They causes wear and tear of the things which we move on the frictional surfaces like soles of the shoes, tires of the vehicles, pencil, eraser, all these they go through wear and tear. Okay. Friction makes it difficult to slide heavy loads across the floor because friction is the force which opposes the motion. So, it makes it difficult to pull heavy loads on the floor. Then rubbing of two surfaces together generates heat due to friction. Rub your palms together to feel the heat generated due to friction. Heat produced due to friction can cause damage to machines. So, children, when two surfaces comes in contact, then there is frictional force which is working between them. Now, if I rub both my hands, then heat is generated in between my hands. Now, this heat is generated due to the frictional force. So, this is also one of the disadvantage of friction. So, children, these were some of the forces which we have studied right now: gravitational force, magnetic force, muscular force, electrostatic force, then frictional force. Now, let us do the exercise which is given in your book. It's let's recall. So, here write T for true and F for false statements. Boxes are given over here and you have to write T or F after reading the statements. First is force can move a stationary object. So, is it a true statement? Yes, this is a true statement. We have just now read this in the effects of force. So, you will write T over here. An apple from a tree falls to the ground due to friction. Is it the correct statement? No. Just now I have shown you with the ball that it falls down due to the force of gravity, that is gravitational force. So, here we will write F. Pins cling to a magnet due to magnetic force. Again this is true. So, we will write T. Push or pull applied on an object is called force. This is also a correct statement. So, we will write T over here. Friction helps us to walk easily on the road. This is also a correct statement. So, we will write T over here because friction avoids slipping on the floor. So, this was the exercise. Now, let us move to the next topic, that is energy. So, children, what is energy? Energy is the ability to do work. There are various forms of energy which we use daily for doing different types of work. So, let us see the different forms of energy. So, first type of energy here is heat energy. Heat is a form of energy. Apart from sun, we get heat energy by burning of fuels like coal, kerosene, LPG, which is liquefied petroleum gas, and wood. Children, here this LPG or liquefied petroleum gas is the fuel which we used in our household, in our kitchens as cooking gas. Okay. Now, another form of energy here is light energy. Light energy helps us to see things. Sun, electric bulb, tube light and candle are some sources of light energy. So, here sun is the natural source of light energy and other sources like electric bulb, tube light, candle, all these are the luminous objects. They also give light energy and these all are the man-made sources of light energy. Then there is electrical energy. Appliances like fan, computer, washing machine and television use electrical energy. Energy is generated at power stations and supplied to our homes through wires. So, children, in our daily household activities, we use electrical energy a lot. Like we use the electrical appliances like fan, washing machine, geysers, electric heaters, all these use electric energy. And how we get this electric energy at our homes? We get this from the power stations. This energy is generated at power stations and it is supplied to our homes through the wires. Okay. Now, we move to the next type of energy. So, here the next type of energy is mechanical energy. The energy possessed by an object due to its position or its movement is called as mechanical energy. So, what is this mechanical energy? It is the energy due to the position of the object or due to the motion of the object. Okay. So, it is of two types. First is potential energy and another type is kinetic energy. So, first category is potential energy. So, word potential energy here is means due to the position. So, potential energy is the energy which is due to the position. Now, the word kinetic energy here means kinetic, which is related to motion or movement. So, kinetic energy is due to the movement of an object. Now, let us take a very simple example over here. The picture is shown in the book also. This is a picture of a dam. Now, you can see here these are the gates from which water is falling down from a height, and on the opposite side of it water is stored. So, this stored water, it has potential energy, and the water which is falling down from a height, this water has kinetic energy. So, these are the two forms of mechanical energy. Now, another type of energy is sound energy. Radio, television, loudspeakers, horns and musical instruments are sources of sound. Living things like humans, birds and animals also produce sound. So, children, we produce sound when we talk, when we laugh, we cough, we sneeze, all the time we produce sound, and some of the man-made sources of sound here are radio, television, loudspeakers, all these produce sound. So, sound is also one of the type of energy. Okay. Now, children, let us move to the next topic, that is simple machines. So, before that there is one internal question. So, let us go through the internal question first. So, children, the question here is name the two types of mechanical energy. You have to write this question just above the paragraph of mechanical energy. Write it like name the two types of mechanical energy. So, let us first write the question. So, children, question number 1 here is name the two types of mechanical energy. I repeat the question. Question here is name the two types of mechanical energy. Now, you have to mark the answer to this question. So, answer is on page number 91. Mark it in the paragraph of mechanical energy. Here it is given in the paragraph of mechanical energy. You can see in the third line, you can write over here answer 1 potential energy and kinetic energy. So, underline it from potential till energy. So, the answer to this question is potential energy and kinetic energy. So, now let us move to our next topic, that is simple machines. So, children, what do you use to fix a nail on a wall? Your hands or a hammer? So, here like hammer we use many tools in our everyday life that make our work easier and faster. These tools are called machines. Machines may be simple or complex. Simple machines are tools that have very simple structure and that make our work easier and faster. Complex machines consist of two or more simple machines that work together. For example, a knife and scissors are simple machines, while a sewing machine and washing machine are complex machines. So, children, we do our daily activities or in our everyday life we use different types of tools. So all these tools are basically the machines. Machines here are the things which makes our work easier. So machines are divided in two categories. These two categories are simple machines and complex machines. Simple machines are the simple tools which makes our work easy, and complex machines are the combination of two or more simple machines which makes our work more easier. Okay. And some of the examples are like scissor, which we use to cut the objects. It is one of a simple machine. But if we talk about a sieving machine, it is a combination of several simple machines. If we talk about mixer, we used to cut the vegetables with the help of knife and scissor, which are simple machines, but if we used to blend them or grind them, we use grinders and blenders, which are the examples of complex machines. So here in this chapter we will study about different types of simple machines that we use in our everyday life. So first type of simple machine here is lever. A lever is a rigid rod that can move freely around a fixed point. It consists of three parts: fulcrum, load and effort. Now see children, see this picture over here. There are three parts which makes up a lever. These three parts are, first part is fulcrum. Fulcrum here is the fixed point around which the lever moves. You can see here, this is the fixed point around which the lever moves. Then load is the object on which work is being done. Now you can see here, this is called as load. It is the object on which work is being done. Then the third part here is effort. Effort is the force applied on the lever. So here this is the effort. Okay. Here you can see that muscular force is applied on this lever to lift up this load. So effort here is the force applied on the lever. So these are the three parts on which this lever is based. For example, the man is trying to lift the boulder using a lever. Here the boulder is the load. Force applied by the man is the effort, and the small rock on which the rod is fixed is the fulcrum. So there are three classes of levers on the basis of position of fulcrum, load and efforts. So now we will study each of these three types of lever using some small demonstrations. Okay. So let us come to first class lever. In a first class lever, fulcrum is located between the load and the effort. Some of the examples over here are pair of scissors, seesaw, crowbar. Let us see how. Now see children, this is first class lever. This type of arrangement is shown in first class lever. Here fulcrum is in middle part, then load is at one end and effort is at another end. Okay. Now fulcrum or the support is lying in the middle portion of this lever. So this type of arrangement we can see in a seesaw. You can see here this part where it is attached to the ground can be called as the fulcrum. Now here the boy which is at upper side and one boy is at lower side. Now when this boy applies force or when this boy puts effort, then work is done on this load, and repetition will be done when this boy is on the lower side. When it applies force, then this boy will be lift up. At that time it will become the load. So here at one position there is fulcrum, at one end there is load and at another end there is lever. So this is one of the example of first class lever. Let me show you some more examples of first class lever which you use in your everyday activities. See children, this is a scissor. Now you can see here this scissor, this point of attachment of the two plates of this scissor can be called as fulcrum. Now here, because we hold this scissor from here, so this position is called as effort, because from here we will apply the force, and from this point, from this tip, the work is done over here. So, this part is called as the load, and same is with the plier also. This is the fulcrum, then here is the effort, and this part represents the load. So, these two are the very common examples of first class lever. Now, we come to second class lever. So, children, in a second class lever, load is located between the fulcrum and the effort, and examples are wheelbarrow, nutcracker and bottle opener are examples. You can see here, this is a wheelbarrow. So, let me show you how all these are arranged in a second class lever. Load is in the middle part, fulcrum is at one end and effort is at another end. So, let us recall, in first class lever, in the middle part fulcrum was there and load and efforts were at both the ends. But here in the second class lever, fulcrum lies at one end position and load lies in between and effort lies at the another end. So, this is an example of a second class lever. So, let me show you this second class lever with a very small object which you generally use in your daily activities. See children, this is a bottle opener. Okay. Now, this bottle opener is holded from here, from at one end. Okay. And so, this is the position where it is fixed somewhere. So, this position is called as fulcrum. You can match this position from here. This is the fulcrum. So, it is the point of attachment for the bottle opener. So, it is a fulcrum. Then load is there. We put the neck of the bottle in between this bottle opener. So, this part is showing the load and efforts are made from this side. So, children, this is an example of second class lever. Now, let us move to the third class lever. So, children, now we come to third class lever. In a third class lever, effort is located between the load and the fulcrum. Stapler, fishing rod and tongs are examples of third class levers. So, here you can see that in third class lever, now here effort is in the middle part, fulcrum is at one end and load is at another end, and we have seen in the second class lever, in the middle part there was load and at both the ends effort and fulcrum were there. But now in the third class lever, effort is in between, fulcrum is at one end and load is at another end. So, this can be best explained by this stapler. Now, you can see here, this part can be compared to the fulcrum. Then here load is there, and in this middle part where we push with our fingers, this is called as the effort. So, this is an example of a third class lever. Now, we move to some other types of simple machines. Now, we move to some other types of simple machines, wheel and axle. A wheel and axle consist of a wheel attached to a rod and axle. When the axle is turned, the wheel also moves. The steering wheel of a car, screwdriver, sewing machine and doorknob are examples of wheel and axle. All the vehicles have wheel and axle. So, children, you can see here, this is the example of wheel and axle. This is the rod through which these two wheels are attached, and when this rod moves, it also moves the wheels along with it. So, this is one of the example of wheel and axle. So, this is also one of a simple machine. Now, another type here is inclined plane. An inclined plane is a slope. Less effort is needed to move an object up through an inclined plane as compared to lifting it up straight. Ramp, staircase, slide and roads in hilly regions are examples of inclined planes. You can see here this slide, it is one of the example of inclined plane. You can see this slopey side over here, this represents the inclined plane. Now we move to another type of simple machine. It is screw. A screw is an inclined plane wound around a rod to form a spiral. It helps to hold things tightly. A screw can be easily driven into a wood. A screw jack, drilling machine and nut bolts are examples of screw. You can find screws on electric bulbs and jars too. This is very common simple machine which you are familiar with. I can show one example to you. See children. These are the two different types of screw, and you can see here these lines which are running over here, these are simply the inclined planes which are wounded around a rod. This shows the arrangement of a screw. This type of arrangement represents a screw. This type of arrangement you can also see in this bulb. You can see these lines which are wrapped around this rod like structure. So, this also represent a screw. Now, you can see here these circles. So, this arrangement is also a screw. Now, another type of simple machine is wedge. A wedge has two inclined planes put together to form a sharp thin edge. A nail, fork, knife and an axe are examples of wedge. So, you can see here knife, it is one of the example of a wedge. Here two inclined planes are attached at one point, one tip is formed over here. So, this sharp tip is formed by joining of two inclined planes, it makes a wedge. Okay. Now, the last type of simple machine which we will study today here is the pulley. So, children, pulley is a wheel with a grooved rim so that a rope or chain can run around it. A pulley changes the direction of force applied. A pulley can be of two types. It can be fixed pulley and movable pulley. Here, fixed pulley. In a fixed pulley, the axle is fixed to a support. It is used for drawing water from a well and raising a flag to the top of a flagpole. Now, you can see this is the arrangement shown over here is showing fixed pulley. This is a pulley. You can see groove over here. In this groove, a rope is running from this groove. So, this helps in pulling or drawing the water from the well. This pulley is fixed at some position at some support. So, this is a fixed pulley. Another type of pulley is movable pulley. Movable pulley is used in combination with a fixed pulley. It is used to lift heavy loads. So, simple and lighter things can be lifted by a fixed pulley, and for heavy loads we use the combination of pulleys where one is the movable and one is fixed, and this is used to lift heavy loads. Okay. So, you can see here this is the movable pulley and this one is the fixed pulley. So, these are some of the simple machines. So, children, now again there is one more internal question. So, let us write it first. So, children, let us mark one internal question over here. It is on page number 92. Write the question just above the paragraph of lever. It is question number 2. What is lever? So, let us write it down. So, here the question number 2 is, what is lever? I repeat the question, it is what is lever? So, let us mark this question in your book. So, children, answer to this question is on page number 92. In the first line, mark it from a lever till fixed point. Okay. A lever is a rigid rod that can move freely around a fixed point. So, the internal question here is question number 3, which simple machine is used to draw water from a well? And you have to write this question over this paragraph of fixed pulley. Okay. So, let us write down this question, children. Question number 3 here is, which simple machine is used to draw water from a well? So, I repeat the question. It is, which simple machine is used to draw water from a well? So, let us mark the answer now. So, children, answer to this question is fixed pulley. It is given over here on page number 94. The first word you mark it as answer 3, fixed pulley. So, children, this was all about the explanation part of your chapter and the internal questions. I hope you all have understood the matter. So, next we will meet in the next video class in which we will discuss the book work and the copy work. So, till then, have a nice day. Thank you, children.